to the very last season of a phenomenal TV show that obviously dealt with teenage party life and drugs and addiction and um, even like OnlyFans material and a lot of sex and violence. And I'm talking about the phenomenal TV show until the very last episode where they killed off a very popular female character from the TV show. And yes, this is going to be my spoiler video. I decided to do two different videos about the said subject matter. Whereas on my TikTok channel, I have decided to do the same video, but a tad different. So I thought, you know what? Fuck it for my YouTube. I'm going to give you a spoiler video on the show Euphoria. So if you have not seen season 3 yet, or you are behind with the first 2 seasons and you really don't want to know how the last episode ends, don't watch this video. But if you're currently watching the 3rd season and you kind of want to know what happens in the last ever episode of Euphoria, stick by this video and continue on and watch said video that I am going to be talking about. Why me and my girlfriend were very upset by the way Euphoria ended. And in fact, I still wish that there will be more seasons picking up, because I would like to know what happens after the last season ended. Like, I want to know what happens to other characters that did make it through to the last ever episode, and if there was going to be further seasons, what would happen to their characters, the ones that are still around and obviously had a better ending than Jacob Elordi's character, and of course one of my favorite Euphoria characters from season 1, 2, and of course 3. And I'm talking about Rue, played by the phenomenal Zendaya, and her demise. Like, why the fuck did Sam Levinson, the creator of Euphoria, decide to kill off Rue? Rue was a phenomenal character from the show Euphoria. And I must admit, I hated the way she died. It was just terrible. However, though, I do like the actor, however, that portrayed to be Alamo Brown, even though the bastard killed off one of my favorite Euphoria characters ever. And I'm talking about Rue Bennett from Euphoria, played by the phenomenal Zendaya. Her death was just terrible, and I definitely understand why Ali, her sponsor, played by the phenomenal Colm Domingo, seeked revenge on Alamo Brown. Like, the fact that he wanted to kill Alamo for destroying one of his friends' life was completely understandable. Now, the way Rue Bennett died was just awful. She died from a terrible fentanyl drug overdose in the TV show of Euphoria that was given to us. Obviously, if you've watched the show Euphoria, you know from the very first opening episode that Zendaya's character Rue has a drug problem, and that even in the 3rd series, she deals with people from like the cartel and some very bad people. So the show could have gone, you know, either way. She could have eventually maybe woke up to herself and decided to have a better lifestyle or get off drugs. But sadly, her character demised from a fentanyl overdose or murder. However, you really want to put the line into focus, or however you want to say it. To me, it was not just a fentanyl overdose, it was a murder. In my personal opinion, any form of overdose could be either accidental or plain and simple a murder. Which she had in Percocet tablet, or as it was known in Euphoria, or in her Percocet was fentanyl was laced in her Percocet, and her character died. Yes, Zendaya's character, of all characters that could have got the worst treatment ever, Sam Levinson, the creator of Euphoria, decided to kill off Zendaya's character. And of course, previous to killing Zendaya's character off, yes, not only from the previous season of season 2 of him killing off Angus Cloud's brother, Ashtray, but in the third and final season, not only Sam Levinson decided to kill off Zendaya in the last every episode, but previous to that, in the previous episode of Euphoria, he decided to kill off Jacob Elordi's character. He decided to kill off Nate Jacobs. Yes, Nate Jacobs was buried alive, and a rattlesnake bit Jacob Elordi's character, and obviously he was buried alive, and with the fact a rattlesnake got into the coffin and bit him, and it was kind of too late for anyone to be able to get like anti-venom. Unfortunately, Jacob Elordi's character dies. And then, to really fuck over the series, Sam Levinson writes off Zendaya, which I absolutely hated that decision of the creator of Euphoria. Like, I really wanted Rue to have a happy ending. Yes, I understand the show deals with addiction, whether it's drugs or sex or a lot of things happening in the show, and not every character had a great life. Zendaya obviously had a complicated life in the show Euphoria, and as you could see, there was so many times where she did try to be a good person, and I don't think she was necessarily a bad person of the character Rue. She was a complex character, and she made some pretty bad life choices, but she was still a great character, and I still think her character definitely deserved better. So when the producers of Euphoria decided to kill off her character in the last episode and ended that way, I and my girlfriend were absolutely heartbreaking and absolutely devastated. Leave Zendaya alone. That's how much I was like upset. As soon as I heard that what I heard on Instagram and Facebook was correct, that they kill off Zendaya in the last ever episode of Euphoria, I was absolutely shocked. And I was absolutely in tears. That phone call he makes, and the fact he tries to wake up Rue, that scene, like her death scene, was just shocking and absolutely heartbreaking. One of the most heartbreakingest TV show finals ever. Now, I've watched other shows where characters have died in the last ever episode, or there's been other shows like Game of Thrones where certain characters died each and every series or season. But it did not upset me as much as Zendaya's death in Euphoria. I cried for like a good solid 20 minutes. My girlfriend didn't even realize at first what happened. I was like, yes, babe, sadly, you're right. Zendaya passed away. Her character of Rue Bennett passed away. And we both were in tears by that. Um, which was just so sad. Like I said in my TikTok spoiler-free video, definitely deserved a silver lining. Like, I think if I was the Sam Levinson and I was the producer and creator of Uphoria, I would not have killed off Rue Bennett. I personally would have killed off, before Alamo Brown got killed, I would have just killed him off, even with nothing ever happening to Rue. Like, if Rue didn't get killed, I would have still killed off the character of Alamo Brown regardless. I don't even think Nate Jacobs, played by Jacob Elordi, deserved to die. I think his character should have even had a silver lining. Like, the two characters that I definitely don't think should have been killed off in the third and final season was Jacob Elordi's character and Rue, played by the phenomenal Zendaya. Like, I understand maybe why it happened, because it was a show that dealt with addiction, and it obviously wanted to deal with addiction properly, where it showed the tragedy side of addiction. And for that, Uphoria succeeded, and it really did show that side of addiction. They obviously wanted to show and, you know, have a dramatic show, and with someone who was addicted to drugs, sadly pass away from drugs. And Uphoria definitely did do that. So for that, they definitely hit the nail on the head. But I was not happy with that as a decision to end the show after 3 seasons, or end it that way. I do respect that they showed Zendaya again towards the end of the episode, even though she passed away, and it was like an afterthought type of situation. It just was, you know, really, really sad, and I hated that decision. The only part of what I liked about the very last ever episode of Uphoria was the fact that Colin Domingo's character, Ali, turned rogue and turned into a motherfucking badass. When he blew Alamo's guts to pieces, that scene in Uphoria, when he got revenge for his friend Rue's death, that was amazing. That scene I could watch over and over and over again. That scene in itself, as a standalone scene in the tragic last ever episode of Uphoria, was phenomenal. As soon as he came dressed very soldier-like, I was like, I think he's going to take revenge on Rue's fentanyl death, whether it was accidental or whether it was murder. He was going to take revenge on her death anyway. And the fact that he did go ahead with taking revenge on Rue's fentanyl overdose, I applaud that. But I still wish there was another episode. Or I wish there was another season. I know originally I heard on Instagram a while ago that there was going to be... I heard a while ago that it was known as the season final, not the series final, at first. And then eventually I saw other stuff on Instagram which confirmed, and Facebook, the sad truth about Rue's death on Euphoria season 3, which I was hoping was a myth or rumors. But when I found out those rumors sadly were true, I was pretty angry and pretty pissed off with the producers and directors of Euphoria and the creators of Euphoria decision to kill off Zendaya's character Rue. Like, that was just bullshit. And I still think it is bullshit. So I'm kind of not happy with the last ever series of Uphoria and how it wrapped up. I would have preferred one more episode of Euphoria season 3 and a different episode and way it ended. I would have preferred if Rue had have got out of dealing with her criminal lifestyle or went to rehab and finally got off the drugs and just leaded a better lifestyle. But obviously Euphoria didn't want the best for Rue's character, which sadly sucks. Or at least another season. I still wish there was another season. Even after the fact Zendaya's character died off in Euphoria, or Jacob Elordi's Nat Jacobs, or even Ashtray from season 2. Or even the fact that Angus Cloud is sadly no longer with us, or that Carl Jacobs, played by the late great Eric Dane, is no longer with us. I still wish there would be another season of Euphoria. Even weirdly enough, I know this sounds bizarre, and as soon as I heard that Rue died, I was like, this is definitely the last ever episode of Euphoria. Like, even if they killed Zendaya's character off in season 1, it would have been a one-time season. Or if they killed a character off in the last episode of season 2, it still would have been the last season of Euphoria. That's how I knew it was coming to an end. As soon as I found out that, and me and my girlfriend found out the tragic news of Zendaya's character in Euphoria dying, I knew straight away that that was the end. Like, Euphoria without Zendaya's character of Rue, could not see the show Euphoria continuing without the character of Zendaya. Yes, I understand they've got Lexi, played by the phenomenal Mad Apatow's daughter. Like, the character Lexi. I know they've got Casey Howard, played by the phenomenal Sydney Sweeney, and Maddie. They've got those characters, and of course, Jules, who is played by the phenomenal Hannah Schaefer. I could see those characters somewhat getting storylines and having their own arc of a storyline, but it would have felt weird to have another season of Euphoria without Zendaya as character of Rue. Now, if that ever actually does happen, that's hell of a weird Sam Levinson decision. But I don't think it's happening. I think Euphoria ended after episode 8 of season 3. And it sucks that it's over now. It sucks that Rue will never have her silver lining, or that her mum will never get to see and cuddle her, or her sister will never get to hang out or see Rue grow into a better person that didn't have, sadly, a drug addiction. That won't happen for Euphoria. And I'm sorry that it ended in 3 seasons. I still wish there was more. And if Euphoria, for whatever reason, comes back, and if there is another season and it doesn't have Zendaya, but it continues the way it finished, and other stuff happens, and it continues with such characters as Maddie or Casey or Lexi or Jules, that would be amazing. But at the same time, it would be quite a surprise if that happened. I knew once they got rid of Zendaya's character Rue, it was over. I'll see you in the next video. And I'm really, really sorry that the TV show of Euphoria ended in this tragic and awful way. And I can definitely understand why people who are big fans of not only season 1 and 2 of Euphoria, I could definitely understand why they don't like season 3, or they might have liked episodes 1 to 7. I absolutely loved episodes 1 to 7, but as soon as the 8th and final episode came around, that screwed a lot of characters over that I still were with us to this day. And I'll see you in the next video. Before I do, I actually want to read some of the said comments so far. They're not Euphoria Season 3 related, but they're interesting. At Tuggan said hi. Hi to you as well. At Crewmate, hi as well. At S.S Gaming 6516, where are you from? I'm actually from the ACT of Canberra. At Leon Child 2019, hi, hello to you as well. At Manabalak Karthik Rida Peta, what is your name? Adam is my name, by the way. They said hi to me as well. Please stop your mouth. What do you mean, please stop my mouth? Why would I need to stop my mouth for? And then laughing at said thing. I don't actually understand what's funny about this video. I was talking about a serious subject matter on a TV show that basically has just finished, and the TV show that I basically was talking about the whole entire time making this live video for you guys at home was on my grievances for the phenomenal TV show that was Euphoria, and the fact that the third and final season ended absolutely shithouse, and why I absolutely fucking hate the last ever fucking episode of Euphoria. And I ain't gonna apologize for that. If I've offended anyone who likes the TV show Euphoria, I'm sorry, but the last ever episode, thumbs down. Like, absolutely fucking shit. Whereas the first 2 seasons and the previous episode before episode 8 were phenomenal of the TV show Euphoria. Whereas the last ever episode, fuck off. Absolutely fucking shit. And in saying that, I'm going to be giving the last season of Euphoria ever a -5-star rating. I normally would give it a 5-star rating or higher than that, but I was disappointed with how they decided to wrap up the TV show after 3 seasons. Like, the season finale for the first season was better. Even the season finale for season 2 was awesome. I was hoping that the final season of Euphoria, they ended on a high. But Euphoria season 3, sadly, ended on a low blow. And that's why I've made this video. At Sam XIA054 said, hi guy. He is rude guy. Which show was that? Oh, Euphoria. If you're calling me rude, I don't actually understand why you would necessarily be calling me rude. How am I being a rude guy. I'm actually just talking about the last ever episode of a TV show and my grievances about said final ever episode of a phenomenal TV show prior to the last ever episode. And I'm entitled to not like the last ever episode of any TV show out there, whether it be a comedy or a reality show or a fantasy show or a drama like Uphoria was. So that's why I've made this video. Exactly. If didn't called you rude, I told rude to the guys who said to stop your mouth. Rightio. Like, these comments are just getting way, way, way out of control. I don't even know why people are being the way they are in said comments on my live video. Like, I don't think it is actually physically fair to go on and on and on about my entertaining context. Did you watch Supernatural? No, I have not watched the show Supernatural as of yet. So, if I do eventually get onto that TV show, whether it has a good finale or a bad season finale or whatever, I will do a similar live video to this as well. So there we go. Like I said, Euphoria season final, thumbs down, down, down. Not happy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.